The Lavender Town Syndrome, also known as Lavender Town Tone or Lavender Town Suicides, was a peak in suicides and illnesses of children between the ages of 7 and 12 shortly after the release of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan, back in February 27th of 1996. Rumors say that these suicides and illnesses only occurred after the children playing the game reached Lavender Town, whose theme music had extremely high frequencies that studies have shown only children and young teens can hear, since their ears are more sensitive. Due to the Lavender Tone, at least 200 children supposedly committed suicide, and many more developed illnesses and afflictions. The children who committed suicide usually did so by hanging and jumping from heights. Those who did not acted irrationally, complaining of severe headaches after listening to Lavender Town's theme. Although Lavender Town now sounds differently depending on the game, this mass hysteria was caused by the first Pokemon game release. After the Lavender Tone incident, the programmers had fixed Lavender Town's theme music to be a lower frequency, and since, children were no longer affected by it. One video appeared in 2010 using special software to analyze the audio of Lavender Town's music. When played, the software created images of Unknown near the end of the audio. This raised a controversy, since the Unknown didn't appear until Generation 2 games, Silver, Gold, and Crystal. The Unknown translated to leave now. The Buried Alive model, also referred to as its code, the Berryman script, was to be found in the final story of the Pokemon Tower, in what has now been replaced with the Marowak Ghost. According to the scripts assigned to it, the Buried Alive model was intended to be the boss of the tower. Once reaching the top floor, the following conversation would have taken place. Buried Alive. You're here. I'm trapped. And I'm lonely. So very lonely. Won't you join me? After this, the battle would have been initiated. Once in battle view, the Buried Alive model appears to be a decaying human corpse attempting to crawl out of the ground. It has been programmed to have 2 white hands, a Gengar, and a Muck. Strangely enough, a protocol for the Buried Alive actions after it was defeated were not written. In the case of the player defeating him, the game would freeze. However, a specific ending was written by an unknown programmer upon losing the battle. In this ending, the Buried Alive was to have stated, "Finally, fresh meat," followed by several lines of gibberish. He was to have then dragged the player's character into the ground surrounding him. The scene would finish with a typical game over scene. However, in the background, an image of the Buried Alive character devouring the player was to have been shown. Especially strange was the protocols for after this scene. The cartridge was to download this image to the small internal memory contained in the Game Boy, overwriting the title screen that normally accompanied the Game Boy turning on. Instead, whenever it was started, the player would view this image as the sound file staticmesh.wave was played. The intended purpose of this effect, unlike many of the other factors leading towards Lavender Town Syndrome, is unknown.